Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the PowettPlay Podcast. As always, it's me, Jordan Shannon. I'm joined by Kieran Powell. How are you, Kai?
Jet lagged, tired, but surviving. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you very much. Not too bad at all. Getting there with 4 hours sleep, but your body gets used to it. So, yeah, jet lag. So, whereabouts in the world are you?
Secret location.
We look like you're in a boardroom there, so serious business only.
Definitely.
We're going to have a look at it. The CPL is fully underway, but I think more, more focus we want to look at sort of players to watch, really. And obviously, there was a game washed out last night or night before, was it? Maybe. What's been your immediate thoughts so far?
I think it's been an interesting start to the tournament. It's not been, I guess, sort of high flying
Yeah,
scores or anything like that. I think apart from that one game with the Patriots and the Knight Riders, it's been pretty modest stuff. I think it's been an interesting start for
yeah,
a Kareem Mago, for example,
yeah.
who's I guess a lot of people wouldn't have had him penned to bat at number three in the CPL for the Antigua. Is it Falcons? Yeah, the Falcons.
Falcons, yeah.
But he's had a very good start. I know the amount of work that he puts in, and it's very good to see a new, I guess, uncapped talent going in and having that kind of start to a tournament. So that's what you want to see from the CPL.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, like we've spoke about before, like it's brilliant to speak of someone, a new name per se, in terms of obviously someone who's breaking out in terms of performances wise, because that's what we want. Do you want me to go through the list that you sent me, or how would you? What's the best way you want me to? Or do you want to
So I
discuss
think
it?
I think I think if we go through it one by one, because there's a
Okay.
there's a purpose of why I sort of named
Yeah.
each
Cool.
family.
So obviously the number one you sent me was Navin Badaisi. Yeah.
I think, well, you pair him with Michael McKenzie, and that's solely down to the fact that
Yeah.
those two were sort of the standout leg spinners in the breakout tournament. I think it would be interesting to see how they go in this CPL. Obviously, you want to expose them against much better players and see how they handle that pressure.
Yeah.
Um, Match in, match out, having a bad match, how do they bounce back? Having a good
Yeah.
match, how do they sustain that level of
Yeah.
performance?
Yeah.
Because I mean, you look at what the West Indies has coming up immediately after this, it's a tour of Nepal,
Yeah.
where you expect a lot of the players would miss that because the India Test series starts shortly after. So this will provide an opportunity to a lot of young fringe guys
Yeah.
to put their hands up and get selected for eventually an early international debut and go and play some international cricket with the West Indies. So I think it's important
Yeah.
for these young cap guys not understanding how close they really are to getting into a West Indies senior team.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the role of the cap. I know we spoke actually about captaining spinners of a young age as well, and thinking, but I think it's really important the role of the leaders in that team to help them through. They're going to have difficult phases throughout the tournament where batters will get hold of them, and some of the more experienced batters as well will do that. But I think, like you're saying, you want to see how they respond to something like that. You want to make sure that they don't revert back to bowling that bit quicker. They sort of stick with the plans that they discussed sort of prior to the game, really.
100%. So as you said, it'd be interesting to see once put under pressure how they sort of go about it. Do they just try and bowl quicker? Do they still try and float the ball? Do they still try and use their variations,
Yeah.
deceive batters in flight and spin, use of crease, all these other things?
Yeah. Next on the list, you've got Johan Jeremiah as well.
Yep. So I'll also pair him with somebody else that I know is on the list. In Kofi James, I think
Yeah.
that again, these are two guys that opened up the batting in the emerging breakout league.
Yes.
Obviously, you know, you look at Evan Lewis and Brandon King, Shea Hope as well. But I think that if you're looking for guys sort of generation next, these two guys probably have put themselves in front of the other guys. So it'd be interesting to see how they continue to play, and if they
Yeah.
can have a strong CPL and push themselves into, let's say, contention for A-team selection. But I think that, they're sort of leading the pack in terms of the next generation
Yeah.
T20 opening batters.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, that's what you wanted to see from the people, I think first and third in terms of the run scorers in the breakout. So for them to then go and to do that in the CPL is it's that nice trajectory that you want to see. So, and then you've got Keon Gaston on the list as well. Um,
Yeah, so he was an interesting one because
yeah,
he played in the breakout league. Someone I've never seen before this. The Windward Islands just seem to just keep plucking some new player out every season. But he swung the ball, which was very impressive because obviously the white ball doesn't do as much as the red ball does.
yeah,
And it's always a great asset to have someone that can swing the ball in any format of the game that gives you a wicket taking option.
yeah,
You see now what Jaden says is becoming with his white ball skills as well and his ability
yeah,
to swing the
big
ball
time.
consistently.
Yeah,
So this is just adding depth and variety to your pool of fast bowling options. So I think that he's someone that you could definitely look out for in terms of continued opportunities and development.
yeah, definitely. And then the next two on the list was, which again, I think you mentioned pairing wise, it was Shane Thomas and Matthew Ford, really.
Not necessarily pairing wise. Matthew Ford is someone that I'd like to see how he performs this season because obviously had a pretty good start to international cricket, but then had sort of a rough past few months. So it'd
Yeah,
be good for him to come and get some performances in, showcase his skill and show that he's learned from those performances. Obviously, he's not as quick as the other bowlers going around, but he's someone that looks to swing the ball as well. It'd be interesting to see what, I guess, skills or variation, what variety he shows throughout the middle, or if the ball isn't doing as much up front,
yeah,
continue to display his batting and hitting ability. But from an Ocean Thomas standpoint, I
yeah.
think
This is
that,
one that I was intrigued with why you would put him on the list, to be fair.
well, no, well, if it's quite straightforward. I mean, you look at it and you look at how the West Indies team has been transformed with the I guess, inception of a Shamar Joseph to go along with an Alzari Joseph and Jaden Sears. Real pace makes a difference in a bowling attack.
Yeah,
O'Shane Thomas is someone that is never short of pace, no matter what time of the day he wakes up.
right.
And I think that, having a shortage of guys that actually genuinely bowl quick in the Caribbean, I think that another opportunity. You can't just throw away guys that bowl quick. He's still a young man. I
Yeah,
think that he did improve over the past two seasons that I've seen him playing with the Leeward Islands. And I mean, I know playing against him last season, he bowled quite long spells in 40 cricket, which took me by surprise. I was expecting him to bowl 3, 4 over spells. He's
right.
bowling 6, 7 over spells. So obviously, his fitness
Yeah,
would have improved and that pace. And then you also have to look at the fact that he was bought in the draft by the St. Lucia Kings, which is obviously coached by Darren Sammy, who's the West Indies head coach as well.
yes,
So, you look at things on a deeper level and you think that, there may be some scope or opportunity to still continue to have him in and around the setup and, hopefully you can get things right because as I said, he's still a young man and he still
yeah,
has that pace. And once you have that pace, you can develop anything else, but you
yeah,
can't get someone to bowl that quick. So I think that it's a great opportunity for him to continue to play and to add that type of depth to the West Indies bowling attack in terms of if they're missing someone that's
yeah.
out and out fast, you can have him as a plug and play.
With speaking about O'Shane Thomas, which format would you see is most suited to?
Um, well, as I said, like he did really well in 40 cricket last year. He even got a 5 wicket haul.
Yeah,
So I mean, I wouldn't sort of limit him to any format. What I
right.
would do is try and get him as fit as possible and as used to bowling as many overs as possible as well,
Yeah,
whilst not putting too much strain on the body because ultimately at speeds that you're using in short, sharp bursts throughout
yeah,
the course of a day, as opposed to having him run long spells. So I think that the most important thing is to continue to work on his bowling fitness. Obviously, his overall fitness, but you want his bowling fitness to be at a higher level as well, so you can get a lot more out of him, and then you can deploy him over whatever format you think is best.
yeah. And then next on your list is Jed Gooley.
Yes, so he was someone that was picked. Obviously, didn't receive his visa to go on that England Ireland tour,
Yes,
but
yeah,
he offers you, I guess, a replacement or a backup to the likes of a Ruston Chase.
Yeah,
And so, as we talk about increasing the depth of the squad, Ruston Chase is now the test match captain, so he definitely won't be. I don't think anyway going to Nepal and then starting a test match just a few days later in
no,
India.
no.
So this is someone that you can have a look at and continue to, as I said, have backup options, and that's the point of this list basically, to see who are the next in line players and how we can provide opportunities for them, but how they can provide opportunities for themselves by performing throughout this year's CPL.
Yeah, definitely. And when you talk about replacements there, it keeps that consistent balance within the side as well. If you're replacing like for likes, the changes don't impact the side that much, so you can still develop roles and understandings, even though players are missing out, which naturally are, because with the crossovers that take place, I think that it keeps that consistency, which is a really key thing.
100%.
And then you've gone with Alec Athanase as well on the list, which I like.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, this is an interesting one because I do think that he will be selected in the test team to go to India. But you look at him getting back into the T20 team in Florida the other day, opening the batting. I think that, I mean, looking at him in the CPL, I don't think that he's necessarily a middle order player in T20 cricket because he doesn't have that raw power. I think you
No.
get him in early in that power play where he can, take advantage of the fielding restrictions, use his sweeps, his reverse sweeps, and all these
Yeah.
other options as well available to him. But I think that he's someone that West Indies cricket sees as a long-term investment. And so if he's not in that test team, which would surprise me, obviously expect him to be going to Nepal with the T20 team. And
Yeah.
so I expect him in turn to continue to get exposure, get opportunities like this, and hopefully take advantage of those opportunities as well.
Yeah. Where do you, sorry to digress and talking obviously from the testing going into India, where would you see him fitting into that lineup though?
Number three.
Number three. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And we'll discuss that in due course, no doubt. And then following on that list, you've got Jediah Blades in there, which is definitely one I expected to see on your list. To be fair.
Yeah. I mean, again, obvious selection standard.
Yeah.
It's not anything that's gonna wow anyone, but continued opportunities for him again, as we've mentioned, the left arm option that the
Yeah.
West Indies have been seeking. You've got the likes of Dominic Drakes, who doesn't seem to be in contention for the West Indies at this point in time. I don't know why. You've got Nathan Edwards, who I feel is probably maybe a year and a half, 2 years away from being ready. His body needs to continue developing, and he needs to continue to get those opportunities to grow. But he's got an amazing skill set. But I think that Jediah Blades, obviously the man in the driver's seat at this point in time. It's interesting because I think he's playing for Guyana, and I'm not sure how many opportunities he's going to get with that bowling attack. But he's someone that definitely needs to continue to get opportunities to develop because the West Indies do need to have these types of options. I mean, this is a scarcity around the world, left arm quicks, and even
Definitely.
more
Yeah.
so in the Caribbean. So he definitely needs to get some opportunities to play and to learn and to have good days and to have bad days and to bounce back from bad days.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's one. As a profile, I'd love to see a breakout from a left armour come into it, just to give like we spoke about. It's something it's something that T20 sides are using all the time. Um, so yeah, I'd like to see a left armour stand now, even if it be Raymond Simmons for. I know he's had
Yes.
he finished the first class season quite strongly as well. So yeah. Then further down the list, you've gone with Kofi James as well.
Yeah, I mean we've touched on Kobe
Touched on
James
him,
and
obviously.
yeah,
Yeah,
we spoke
sorry about
about
that. Yeah.
Johan Jones.
And yeah, Jules Andrew and Amir Django. So yeah, as well. Then them two.
Yes, I mean, obviously, Amir Django burst onto the scene with that century in on his ODI debut. Joe Landry obviously has been touring with the white ball teams. Both are wicket-keeping options as well.
Yeah,
So, it would be good to see both of these guys continue to get opportunities because Shea is what, he's 32 at the end of this year, if I'm not mistaken.
February.
So you've seen that they've already started to give Joel the opportunity as a keeper in that last T20
Yeah,
series, to start developing other options. I think that, Django's been in that 50 over team. He was on the bench. He didn't get a chance against Pakistan, but he was in the squad. And so you want to see guys continue to push their case once given an opportunity. These guys are all very young, but I think that you look at the mix of names that we've mentioned so far. It's a very good complement of players because you've got pretty much a lot of young guys,
Yeah,
but a lot of guys that could develop into match winning players for the West Indies. And the thing for me is like you don't with these types of squads or these types of tournaments, for example. I think I may look at things a lot differently to a lot of people in the sense that, okay, you look at an A team or an under 19 tournament or whatever the case is, I don't expect to have 10, 15 guys out of 60 or 70 or how many of the guys playing in the tournament to come out as, products for the West Indies. You want as many guys to come out and be successful, at least first class players as possible. But
yeah,
realistically, if you have two good players coming through every year, that is going to be more than enough to
yeah,
sustain an international team. Because if you've
yeah,
got, I mean, it's not going to be all fast bowlers. You're going to have maybe this year, you may have two good batters, you may have two good leg spinners next year, you may have two good fast bowlers the other year. So that's six good cricketers
yeah,
that you've got coming through in a 3 year period. And it's just for you to maintain and continually develop those guys. So that's
yeah,
how I look at that side of things.
yeah, definitely. And then the last on the list was Shakir Paris. You know,
Yeah,
someone you
I think
spoke extremely highly of in the past as well.
Yeah, I think he's got very, very good ability. Um, I think that this could be a big year for him. Obviously, moving back to Barbados didn't have, I guess, the best of stats to the tournament, but obviously only one game in as well. So the tournament's
Yeah,
still quite young for him and his team. Playing in a team like that, getting the opportunity to bat at number four is something that he should relish because you've got those like Sherfy and Rutherford and Rovman Powell
yeah,
in that team as well, who will probably start easing up the order based on how the team goes in the next few games as well. So he'll want to get a few good scores under his belt. But I do think that he has the ability to hit both spin and pace from front foot and back foot pretty well. And it's just a matter of him getting in and getting set. I mean, you saw it against the South Africa A team in that 50 over series. I think he got a 96, and you saw him in the regional domestic season as well. So
yeah.
I think that someone that has a lot of raw ability.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. When you speak highly of players like you have with him, I'm all ears when it comes to something like that because undoubtedly you know what you want, you know what you're looking for, and that that's been from an environment perspective, being around him as well. So with just going back to the point you made about Shafane Rutherford, do you see him moving up that order at all?
I think there's a potential for Sherfane and Rovman to move up a slot, so that would be 4 and 5.
Yeah,
To put someone like a Shakir Paris down at 6. But again, those guys prefer to come in at the back half of the innings, while Rovman in particular prefers to come in at the back half of the innings if they could and get straight into their work. So that gives Shakir Paris definitely a good opportunity. I think they had the likes of can't remember his name, Karim Karim Ali, I think,
yeah,
batting
Kadeem
at
Relay
number
at 3,
2.
yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, he's someone else that will definitely have to take that opportunity as well because it could be a matter of him getting slotted out, Shakir Paris going up to 3, and everyone else coming up, and then someone else slotting at number 6
yeah,
as well.
further down the order, yeah. And I really appreciate brilliant to go through that list and obviously speak about players to watch. Now, I'm looking forward to seeing how it all goes. What's your expectation of the international players in the CPL?
To show that they're international players to dominate the CPL once they
Yeah,
get a chance, they need to bat at strike rates that is conducive to the world's best. Take whatever conditions are given to you, take that out of the equation and show why you are international players. Same thing
yeah,
for the bowlers, being economical and striking at crucial points in time. So
yeah.
that's what I'd be looking for if I were a selector.
Yeah, and I'd like to see. I know you obviously you speak about it all the time, but I think it would be better if Shea and Kevlin Anderson swap places potentially, so you can open the batting.
Well, I mean, I had,
You're gonna...
I had, I had a personal conversation with Shay. And
Right.
he said exactly what I knew he would say, and he laughed and I laughed, and like I understand why, and he understands why I said what I said as well. But like I guess it sort of I wouldn't say it has to be that way, but that's the way that it is. But hopefully there's scope for change.
Yeah, definitely. Well, whatever happens, happens. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it, how it all unfolds, and some big performances from all the names that you mentioned there, and hopefully some names that we haven't mentioned that just go under the radar and go and take opportunities that come their way, whatever that may be. But be interested to see how it all goes over the next few weeks.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, as I said, like you look at someone like a Kareem Maguire who would not have been on a lot of people's radar to
No?
start the tournament, and he's the leading run scorer after
Yeah.
first two games, two half centuries. So there are opportunities for young guys to go and put up their hands and
Yeah.
make a name for themselves. You can come out of nowhere and end the season in a West Indies A team or on a West Indies tour to Nepal. You never know what could happen after one good tour. Especially with, as I said, the situation being that the West Indies senior team, test team, sorry, are going to be in India just a few days after. So you expect that there will be not a full strength squad going to Nepal, for example. So, great opportunity for guys. It's just for them to go and take advantage.
No, definitely. Like I said, with the carrot that's being dangled there, with a tour pending, you've got a great opportunity just to get make sure you're on that plane to the UAE, and put, and that's when that opportunity then goes again. What can you do in those games? So no, it's been good to go over it really, and I'm sure obviously over the next couple of weeks we'll break it down into more detail and some performances that we see and whatnot. So yeah, thank you very much everybody for joining us on the PowettPlay podcast. And as always, we really do appreciate the comments. So please keep them in. Please keep liking and please keep subscribing. It means a lot to us both. And we'll speak to you all soon. Thank you.